I had a situation. I used to go out to the Les Schwab company. I did for 19 successive years. Once I saw how good they were, I mean, people could say I'm a little slow or whatever because I went back 17, 19 years, but I think I have enough intelligence for the tire industry, and that doesn't make me super brain or whatever, but the point was they stood out, and I noticed it completely through the deal. And the one thing that stood out is everyone kind of trotted. Well, I don't know where you've been recently, but watching a worker trot all day versus walk, and you could call it running, but it really wasn't a, you know, they were sometimes pushing a tire, sometimes pushing a tire to put it on a car, taking it off the car, trotting back to the tire machine, just moving in the store. The thing that stood out about this is watching the people walking and running. And this guy stood out, and so he, as he kind of ran by us, he said, "Mr. Erickson, when I get a chance, I'll answer any questions, but let me finish my job here." And so he came back, and one of the guys with me from Florida here said, "Yeah, I got a question for you." "Well, what's that?" "Why do you run?" And he thought about it, and he like, "Well, I think the customer wants me to." I just about fell out because I have listened over the years of why people do anything. The boss makes me. It's one of my habits. And the last thing you bring up is, what's it do for the customer? And any way we can take better care of the customer in their eyes, that they feel they're being looked after in a superior way. And he did that for the customer. And so it was one of the greatest testimonies I heard from an employee on such a small item, maybe you think. But they stood out when people say, "These people run." Well, everyone knew in that area how they moved in that store. And then you hear why they did it. They did it for the customer. They didn't do it because they were ordered to, or some other thing that could be thought of negative, or someone passing directives of that sort. No, the customer wants me to. When it was pointed out how important is the customer, what can we do for the customer that would set us up? Remember, in our industry, it's an untrusting industry. So people, every person listening or been around in the industry at all has 4, 5, a dozen bad experiences of getting their car repaired. And in the tire industry, when I finally woke up to that fact. I said, these people have bad memories about things of the past. What can we do to erase that? Well, pretty soon, so then it becomes, what is it we can do for the customers? So that is kind of the part of treating people with dignity. We sometimes say it's just the employee. No, that's to the customer also. And what do they want? They want, if you give them an appointment, you honor it. If they go to the bathroom, it's clean. And to make the appointment, sometimes you do have to run. You have to keep things moving. You don't know, there's always some little thing that happens. But all these things with the customer in mind. So it has to be taught. Leadership has to, initially, to get the people up to deal. But there, what I saw, you know, there's people say decisions or things get done because, well, someone made a rule. Okay, that's one. The second part of that is, okay, it became a habit. I do it out of a habit now. The third thing, it becomes a way of life. And what I saw out there, it was a way of life.